We should be live, sir.
We should be, or we are.
Well, I'm gonna go with should because technology. You can go whatever you would like.
Yeah, we still got a shaky IT guy, so I don't know. We could be live.
Yeah, I think it's like that. We probably just need to pay him more. Maybe
Well,
he's starting to question his worth to the company.
well, we have a budget of 0, so I'm an accounting major, but I don't think I can finagle more money out of 0.
There's always a way. So I don't know about you, but I've had a busy morning.
Yeah, I've had a morning, busy one.
In fact, I think when I spoke with you last, you had just left the hardware store and I was at the hardware store.
Yeah. The joys of building a house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good times. But we've actually got 10 topics today, so
We do.
there's that.
And I actually came up with 6 of them. How about that?
You did. I don't know if our VP or our CEO put some pressure on you to come up with some topics. I don't know what happened there.
Ordinarily, I'm just the talent, and I just kind of sit back and sound pretty,
I think we need that on a T-shirt. Just the talent. I
sit,
think that's a
yeah.
new hashtag.
Yeah, I put in some work late last night.
We are back. I've been so busy. I have no idea what number this is. I'm
Episode
guessing
12.
You're on top of it. All right.
Somebody's got to be.
All right. Well, I'm ready if you're ready. Are you ready to kick off 5 topics?
5 topics or 10?
Let's go 10. Let's go big or go home.
Okay. So
All right.
First topic.
I'll let you start, sir.
All right, we're gonna talk about the perceived. I'm doing air quotes. Power level of Call to Arms, the objective, and not necessarily the set.
Okay.
So what are your feelings on that? Because there were some people, maybe it was only one, or I don't know, but somebody brought up that they thought it was overpowered. How do you feel about that?
I have a couple thoughts on that. I will start off by first saying that I think everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I think when our community starts, this is a PC cast, but I think when our community starts belittling someone for their opinion, I think we as a community suffer. I get people not agreeing with everyone, and I'm not saying everybody should. I just think sometimes there are things said that don't need to be said. So personally, I think the card looks to be pretty explosive in certain situations, but I've got a deck with it right now. I just haven't played it enough to kind of get a good read on how explosive it can be. I don't dislike the objective. I personally don't think that it is crazy bonkers over the top, but I also haven't seen it in play, so I don't know. For those listening, it's after a piloted vehicle unit resolves a strike that destroys an enemy objective, destroy a target enemy unit that is committed to the force. I don't know. I think there's a lot of stipulations there to kind of keep it in line, but
Yeah. I mean, the vehicle has to be piloted, and it has to be striking in dealing the damage that destroys it. So not unopposed, right?
yeah.
So if it's, let's say it's the unit from the set, it's got the 2 black blasts. So as long as that 2 black blast is destroying something, then you get to trigger it. And then the other part is that it's got to be a unit committed to the force. And while this is on the table, you know that it can be triggered at any point in time. So you may not necessarily be committing your heavy hitters, your Palpatines, your Vaders, just to
Sure.
protect them from being destroyed.
Sure.
So I mean, like I agree with you. You said it's a pretty explosive ability. It is, but it's also only gonna trigger twice per game. So I mean, how strong? I mean, it's a strong ability, but twice per game isn't really that. Is it really that bad? And I don't think it is. Now, and I don't even think this is the most powerful card in the set. So
Sure.
if he was saying the set in general is OP, then maybe, because I think Desperation is more OP than Call to Arms. So
The post certainly sparked a lot of responses. Personally, I just don't enjoy people ridiculing or talking down to other members of the community just because they have an opinion on something. I like that we're discussing it because obviously that post did spark a lot of conversation. I agree with your points that it's only ever going to affect two things, but it's. I personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the card right now, but only because I think Darkseid has the better pilot options to it. That might change. I don't know. I know I haven't got enough playtest in with the card, and I truly just don't think that taking out one unit via an objective is the end of the world for this game.
Well, but at the same time, like having an Emperor Palpatine or even an Executor, I guess the Executor would need to be damaged. I'm not sure about that one, so don't quote me. But I mean, still being able to take out a Vader or an Emperor is still really good. But
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not going to break the game wide open. And
Hope not.
yeah, we hope not. I mean, let's hope it's not dash freeholders or whatever. Yeah, dash freeholders all over again.
I think the thing about dash freeloaders that some people I've seen some comments on, I think what they miss is that I don't think there was a single person in the community that basically played the game that didn't recognize that stuff was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember.
I do remember a lot of people saying that, when there was the calls for the banning or the restricting or for FFG to do something, I do recall a lot of people saying, "Hey, let's wait till the whole cycle plays out." And
that was definitely going around, yeah. But I mean, like, I remember, like, I think it was one of the users online was like had that It Binds All Things deck comboing with it, and I think the general reaction was, yeah, you can just put bad cards in there and it's still amazing.
Yeah. That deck was pretty good though. I mean, it could do some nutty things, but I mean, ultimately, I think what the deck ended up on was even nuttier.
Yeah,
anything that can win on first turn is pretty absurd.
For sure. All right.
Next topic. Am I introducing this one or are you?
No, I'll take evens.
Okay.
All right, we're almost 1 year has gone by since the tournament rules have come out, the most recent tournament rules. Speed for light side and destroying objectives for dark side no longer being a concern for the meta. I'm failing to. I got distracted here. So, is the situation better, worse? Are there abusive combos? What exactly? What are our thoughts maybe on how the game is now, how the rules stand now?
So basically, we're comparing and contrasting these rules to what we were under last regional season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm excited for this regional season with these rules. I'm not excited about the double elimination in the top cut part, but I do like that. At least for me, like my perspective, I feel like the meta did open up. Although we are still, we're seeing a lot of Jedi decks, but I think that's more indicative of them just having really good cards compared to everybody else. And that was always the argument, was that the best deck is always going to rise to the top, no matter what rules we're playing under.
Yeah.
But I definitely like that I no longer have to sit there and be like, all right, they beat me with the dial at 8. I've got to win with the dial at 7. or I got to destroy, 3 objectives because they did too. I like that I don't have to play under that, with those considerations anymore. Now I'm just playing the game to win.
Yeah.
I don't have these arbitrary rules saying, hey, you need to do this, So, for me, I'm enjoying these new rules. And I think once everybody, once there's, balance amongst all the factions or affiliations or whatever we're calling them, I think I think the meta will even be more wide open. And I'm hoping by the end of this cycle we see that, or we start to see it at least, That's my thoughts.
That's definitely a more positive view than I would have. I'm not a fan of ties. I'm not a fan of just splitting with your opponent. And I'm like definitely not a fan of double elimination like you. We're definitely in agreement there.
The question wasn't, are we, it's just, well.
No, I mean, I think no matter what, as long as the light side isn't trying to win before the other person, as long as the dark side isn't trying to blow up objectives, I think it's going to be a better place for the game. What I was going to say is I feel like these rules are effectively a pretty good Band-Aid. I think the problem is still there, that the correct, I'm using air quotes, the correct way to score the game still has not been discovered yet. I think there is a better way to do it. That's not a knock at this. I do think this is an effective Band-Aid. Obviously, it's been going a year and there haven't been too many issues. I think that we can get to that better place. They're saying you have an echo. Well, one person is saying you have an echo.
Well, that just means they get to hear me twice as much.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with that. No, I agree. This system is not perfect.
Yeah.
But I feel it is much better than the old system.
Yes, I definitely did not like the old system. So I agree 100%.
The question would be now is if we were still playing under the old system, would the Jedi be as good? Because the Jedi decks are good, but they're slow.
Yeah, but I mean, most Jedi decks slow is only in terms of the turn, not in terms of the dial. Most Jedi decks I play are winning with the dial between 3 and 5.
Huh.
So
See, I've seen some of them go, well, in my experience, I've gotten the dark side, or as playing the dark side, I've been able to get the dial higher.
Okay.
But, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
You're probably just a better dark side player than me. I mean, there's that.
Maybe. I don't know. We usually just race to see who can get the other person to reset faster. So
I think no matter what, the point is the environment is better off than it was last year, and hopefully next year it'll be better off than it was this year, and so on and so on and so on. Right?
I would hope that they reconsider the double elimination and would just go to like the best out of 3. I mean, that's probably not any better, but I don't know.
No, single game matches in this game I just despise. But maybe one day. Maybe one day. All right. Topic number 3, sir. You're up.
All right. So there's lots of really good vehicle sets. Well, we think there's going to be lots of really good vehicle sets. Let me put it that way. Do we think regional season will be a vehicle revival, or will Brown continue to be king? By Brown, I mean Jedi.
So last week, I said it would be anywhere from 30 to 40% of a field, and I still think that's true. I think, I mean, people, to me with this game, there's 2 types of players. The players that just want to play the best deck, and the players that just want to play what excites them the most about Star Wars or about the current product pool. Right.
Whatever catches their attention.
I mean, that's definitely a little bit more negative than how I mean it. Like, I mean it in like I know certain players that are just like, man, Chewie and Han and freeloaders, they're just cool, and to me that's not like a catches their attention. That's just like, like you like Boba Fett, right? But you would never just play a deck of Boba Fett's,
Because I fall into the first category. I want to play the best deck.
Yeah. But I've met plenty of people that fall into the other, and so I think that's, for me, I think that's the big divide, So like with these vehicle sets that are coming out, I think the competitive players are going to play them as long as they're good or strong or competitive. And I think you're going to have a lot of players that aren't necessarily as competitive or might even be as competitive, but just enjoy more of the fun of Star Wars, you know. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with either camp, you know. So I think with a cycle like this, it is just going to open up more doors for the people who play the game because it's Star Wars, maybe not as competitively or something. But as long as the cards are competitive, it opens more doors for the competitive players too. I think it's too early to tell in the cycle. It's not Echoes where every pack was amazing if you're a light side player.
Yeah, every set was bomb after bomb. No, for me, I'm hoping that not necessarily a revival, because a revival to me means that maybe they're overtaking the Jedi or even smugglers. What I would really like to see is, you know, Jedi be good, Rebels be good, and even, I mean, smugglers are still good. They're just not, for whatever reason, they've just fallen off. So to me, I would love to see the vehicles, you know, be brought up to that level, and then that way, you know, you've got the chance of seeing a good Rebel vehicle deck, a good Jedi character-based deck, or a Jedi and smuggler. You know, that's what I'm hoping for. Whether it happens, I mean, it's hard to tell. There looks to be some good stuff coming. I mean, we've seen the Independents. You know, we're going to talk about that later, but that looks like a very promising card for the Rebels.
Yeah.
And you know, the X-Wings, I've actually started to like them. I mean, they got black icons. Hobby can allow them to attack twice, you know. So I mean, they've got some tricks. And I really like this new Rebel set, mostly because I like Desperation. So I'm looking at a lot of ways that I can, you know, use that with Jedi or Rebels. So I mean, I think you're right when you said that it's a little too soon to tell, but you know, for me, I've got some optimism, maybe more than you, I think, because I know you're not the biggest fan of.
Well, I try to treat everything as, well, I don't know until I play it.
I wasn't trying to
No,
you
for
under
sure.
the bus there.
When they've spoiled the stuff, when they, being FFG, have spoiled stuff from the cycle, it doesn't really get me excited as a competitive player. But I've definitely, you know, played more with the cards now. There are one or two pilot sets that I think are pretty legit, and like quite a bit. You know, it's just, I think I'm probably still living the high of the Echo cycle and BTS. But real quick, we've had a ton of comments come in. So we've got Smokey J says that he thinks the meta for regionals depends on how many force packs actually make it out. The more force packs equals more vehicle decks. I definitely agree with that. Nooner says it's going to be all about Desperation, Trench Run, Leia, and Rogue 3. I could definitely see that being a thing.
Possibly.
We've got Darth BS. Most meetups in the UK, there's a split mix between the two types of players, I believe, and it can produce odd matchups and surprises. Vox Lane, vehicles have the potential to create parity because it's becoming harder to build against everything. America 1776. The Hot Take Express has arrived. What's up, folks? I like the new 1776 on the end. I think before it was just America.
So,
all right.
Next topic.
Next topic. I felt like a teleprompter there, where I was just kind of like reading whatever was in front of me.
Just don't have a Ron Burgundy moment, okay? Stay classy, San Diego.
I might have been watching some YouTube clips this week of reporters reading things off teleprompters that they shouldn't have. It was pretty entertaining. Okay, America was taken obviously by communists. All right. Topic number 4. Is Trench Run still a thing?
I mean, I think it's legit. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I almost got beat by a trench run deck the other day at that store championship. They got it to 8, and had they not been able to Rebel Assault it, I would have lost.
Sure.
To a trench run deck. I mean, I think it, as soon as, we talked about the tournament rules, Hardy, I think once they took speed out of the equation, they made trench run viable. Albeit it's in a bit of a crummy set.
Okay.
Unit-wise, at least. I mean, trench run's a good card. Rebel Assault, the Objective are all fine. But I mean, I think it's a completely legit strategy, and as we've seen, I mean, the world champion Mick Cipra, he used it, won with it, and now take that for what you will. I mean, I think it was his approach was interesting.
Oh yeah.
He went the combo approach, but I think it could be less combo-y, and just be straight up trench run. Just say, hey, I'm playing trench run. You've got to deal with it. It's only 10 damage, whereas,
It's 2/3 what you normally need, basically.
It's 5 less than what you need. So I mean, how could you not, think about that card?
Lucrative contracts completely turned off.
Yeah. I mean, they can't. By lucrative, you mean corrupt officials?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
do you play lucrative for any other reason?
You're right. Explosive charge, maybe? I don't know. I mean, Nooners says Desperation, Trench Run, Leia, and Rogue 3. I don't necessarily disagree with those, with that idea.
You could have a lot of fun with those cards.
I'm pretty high on Desperation. I think Trench Run is a legit card. I don't know that you need Leia. Rogue 3 with Wedge or an Astromech droid. You've got options. The Trench Run deck that I saw had Luke, had Ferris, so he had the asteroid base in there, and it must have had Leia because I saw him with some Ewoks. Other than that, I don't really remember much else. But nice hashtag.
For those not watching live, I might have just typed in hashtag TGO is desperate.
Yeah,
I think I
nice.
misspelled it though. I don't know. I was typing quickly.
Yeah. So I mean, my answer is that I think Trench Run can be a thing.
Got it right. No, I it's funny to me that we reclassify mixed deck as Trench Run. I'm more liable to label it as Asteroid Base.
Yeah, that's probably true, but I think he won most of his decks or most of his games, with Trench Run. I believe that's what he said.
Yeah. I think that it's a perfectly fine card. I think I recall a cast where I was trying to say it wasn't a horrible set, and you ridiculed me for it. Is that right?
We'd have to roll the tape, and since we don't have tape, I'm not admitting to anything.
I can't remember. One of us was not all about Trench Run, and I can't remember which one of us it was.
Well, time changes all opinions. So
yeah, it does. Good players can prove points. And that's absolutely true. So no, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know that anybody outside of Mick was really playing it all that much. Like I think it was kind of his baby. I think there are definitely certain deck types that not everybody can play. And I think that is definitely one of them.
Like me and Sleuth Scouts, I just can't win with it. You can't win against it, I can't win with it.
Yeah, I think some decks just really, and it's funny too because the time I've seen it like that, it's typically when someone has kind of nurtured a baby into this creation that no one else would have really come up with, and they're the ones that pilot perfectly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know that I would call Trench Run a thing. I think it made a big splash, which was awesome, and I don't know if that deck can do anything outside of that meta that it was in. I just don't know. I don't play the deck. I've never really tested against the deck. I beat the deck at Worlds. I'm not dissing it in any sort of way. I just think that it was Mick's baby that he played perfectly, I don't know.
I've actually never tried playing his version of it.
Okay.
I may have to try it.
Okay. we had some comments came in. Nooners is clarifying his deck idea a little bit. Desperation kills Leia and Rebel Han. They go off. They become unfocused. Get the Rebel card you need to complete the combo. GG.
Okay.
Yet Nooner says I should have gone to Worlds, had the same deck as Mick, because he got it from me. Yeah. And America says, what about Darkseid? Haven't won a deck with Darkseid in 2 weeks. You've been winning with Darkseid, TGO. I know that.
I have.
I've been winning with Darkseid.
I don't think there's a problem with the dark side. It's just not as easy as it once was.
Yeah. We should definitely, maybe on a future cast, discuss some Darkseid decks that win.
Maybe
'Cause
after
they
regional
exist.
season.
They definitely exist. All right. Topic number 5.
Topic number 5. Where have all the good yellow cards gone?
Oh, they're still there.
They're still there, yeah.
They're so there. Is that really the question? Is just where have all the yellow?
Yeah.
No, there's
Otherwise, no, there's more. Otherwise known as the rise and fall of the smugglers.
I was like, there's no way. There's no way we would have said that topic was a good topic. Where have all the good yellow cards gone?
Yeah, no. Well, they have dried up.
Well, I mean, they're still in the binders, I guess,
Yeah.
is the way to put it.
I think, like, I feel sometimes like I'm one of the few people that still slams the Falcon every chance I get. I went back and I was looking at...
I'm sorry, but every deck list that we ever talk about, you're usually like, yeah, you can just put the Falcon in it.
I think I've tried to put it in Darkseid decks. That's how deep the love affair goes.
And the funny thing is, like, last summer, it was like you were all about Chewbacca.
Oh, yeah, but Falcon was still there.
Yeah. But it was...
And see, I'm still about Chewbacca. I really, really am. But Falcon's ridiculous. So
That's not really changed. It's always been ridiculous.
Remember when everybody thought that Virago's set was going to kill the Falcon?
Yeah.
All right, so
How's that worked out?
I was looking at World's deck list, actually, and I was really shocked. I didn't realize, and I was the one that, like, my wife collected all of the data, but I was the one that put it all into deck list to put in that post online. And I really didn't realize at the time how many people still had Along the Gamble Run as a one of in their deck list.
Oh, at Worlds?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, I think it's like 3 or 4 out of the top 5 or something like that, or maybe it's 3, or I can't remember. Like, it's a really high number, a much higher number than I would have ever thought. But I just think that it's typically a game where you just play the good cards, and I think for a long period of time the good cards were yellow. They're still there, but I think now we got good brown cards, and those just see more love. But what about you?
They're pushing out the yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with your statement. It's just the Jedi cards are just maybe a notch above the good yellow cards, with the exception of the Falcon and probably Chewie. I don't know. Chewie's really good, but it's just hard not to play with a unit that costs 3 and gives you 3 tactics. You know?
Yeah, there's that. I mean, yeah.
or with the set. I mean, granted, like the nudge. I don't think the Dagobah nudge is so good anymore now that speed and dial doesn't matter. But that set, you know, being able to search up your Yoda, getting all kinds of blasters for the dial. You know, they seem a little, and having 3 health, you know, seems a little better than the guy that pings you for 1 and has 2 health.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I think the smuggler cards are still really good, and there's probably a really good smuggler Jedi deck to be had.
You know, it's funny because last year at Vegas' regional, so it would have been, we're just about a year away from it. It's like, I don't know, 10 and a half months ago or something. Toggle was running a pure smuggler list, and he made top 4 with it, and I was running a pure Jedi list, and and made top 4 as well. And then I went to 2 other regionals after that. And at those regionals, I built Toggle's list effectively, but I removed 2 copies of a yellow set and put in 2 copies of a brown set. And man, I love that deck. Like, that deck was so awesome. It had so much aggression and beatdown and speed. And now it's kind of like you just don't need to do that anymore. You know what I mean? You can win differently by just playing brown cards instead.
Holding the force, just pinging some damage here and there.
Yeah. So it's definitely a different environment than it was before, in a good way. You know, it's a healthy environment. You know, that's not to say last year wasn't healthy. It's just to say that this is definitely signs of a healthy environment.
The first 3 weeks or so weren't very healthy.
Well, yeah, it's my way of kind of saying that, like, brown used to be a bit more support, and yellow used to be a bit more aggression.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like you don't need the aggression to win as brown. You can win with just solid cards. So it's just different. Same thing, but different. Whatever.
Yeah, they
I
got
tell you, I don't miss freeloaders one bit. That's for sure.
dash or
sleeves.
freeholders.
Oh my god, I don't miss sleeves.
Yeah. No sleuth
All right.
scouts.
Are we on 6?
Yes, sir.
All right.
This isn't really LCG related, but it's Star Wars related.
Blasphemy. This is all I have for number 6. Discuss the amazing Force Awakens trailer.
Yeah, you see, when I come up with ideas, I just give you shells and I hope you take them and just like make them blossom. And you really didn't do that. So we're stuck with my terrible shorthanded notes.
I think they're amazing.
Yeah.
So I prefer the first trailer, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I do.
I thought the first trailer was terrible compared to this one.
Really.
Oh, dude, I got goosebumps, and I got like almost got emotional over
I
this.
got
one.
giddy like a schoolgirl when the Falcon does the barrel roll in the first season.
Yeah, I mean that was cool, but I mean this one was so much better.
Okay, all right.
And there's just a lot to look at. There's way more going on.
There is.
I mean,
like,
just from the opening scene, you see like the crashed X-wing, or
Yeah.
we assume it's crashed, and we see the Star Destroyer. You know,
Yeah.
it's just amazing, and then it just gets better from there.
both trailers, to me, have confirmed that we're in for a real treat in December. Like, just visually, I don't even know what the story is going to do anymore. I just have no idea. But like, the look of this film is so on par with the original trilogy and looks nothing like that rumored prequel thing that was, in development or something that never saw the light of day.
Yeah.
It just looks beautiful.
No, I am definitely excited. The end. I've been reading some theories or whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
People think that
Be careful what you throw out here. Some people don't want to know things.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
then we might not want to go there.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, at the end of the trailer, the Falcon flies into whatever you want to call
Yeah.
that thing,
Yeah.
and they're thinking that's the Executor or Executor, whatever you want to call it.
Interesting.
They think that's the remains of it crash landed on whatever. Either
Well-
that's Endor, a different part of Endor, or it's the planet that Endor. Because Endor's a moon, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so maybe that's the planet that Endor was, So I don't know. They say the planet is Jakku or whatever.
Yeah, but there's a lot of questions right now how much we're believing of what is being shown.
Right.
it's-
They say J.J. Abrams is like a very cryptic guy.
Yeah, it's very possible. Like first of all, you can tell the narration in that trailer, the most recent one, is edited. Like, you can tell that is not just a straight form of someone talking those sentences like that. But like, I don't know. Like, I agree. I think I'd like to think that he's being very sleight of hand with what's happening. I'd like to think.
Yeah.
But I'm excited no matter what. Like I've seen some people, and even Smokey kind of said this in the chat, which I'll get to. But I've seen people that have been like, "Well, remember how awesome the poster was with little, what's his name? The dude that what's the kid's name that played Anakin? The little.
Oh, yeah, I can't think of his
I
name.
can't think of his name at all. It's like right on the tip of my tongue. Oh, but like that poster was incredible. Like the shadow was Vader and everything.
Yeah.
And they're like, remember how that turned out? And it's like, yeah, I mean, I agree. But I think we all know that like the property is in much better hands than it was 10 years ago. Like it's just at a better place. Jake Lloyd, thank you.
Jake Lloyd.
I kept wanting to say Jeff, and I was like, I know that guy's name is not Jeff. So yeah, I'm stoked no matter what. I slightly prefer the original teaser, but I understand why this one was equally awesome. I just slightly prefer that.
When Luke started, well, we assume that it's Luke or Mark Hamill. When he started talking about, my father was a Jedi, my sister's one. Oh my God! I just the whole scene sequence in that narration was just amazing. I can't wait.
Watching the panel yesterday, like just seeing how happy Carrie Fisher, Hamill, Peter Mayhew, just seeing how happy they were, it just tells me that they know that, the magic is back, so to speak, that this is back in great hands kind of thing.
Yeah, at the end when you see Han and Chewie, oh my goodness. So good.
I don't think we had this as a topic, but I've got to throw it in there. I wrote on Twitter yesterday, and I totally mean this. On that panel, they brought out the BB-8 droid. I don't even care if that's like the worse than Jar Jar Binks character. I don't even care. The physics behind that thing were literally freaking me out. Like,
is that the droid that looks like a soccer ball?
Yes, they had it. Did you not? You didn't watch the panel yesterday?
No.
Oh my god! I thought you were a Star Wars fan.
I am, but I've got other things that I have to do during the day that I can't sit around watching.
On your day off.
Yeah.
Okay, so they brought the droid onto stage, kind of like how they'll like wheel out an R2-D2 every once in a while when they're doing some promotional thing. They brought out BB-8 onto the stage as the ball, just rolling around, and then the top part of him was moving around as well, like all over the ball. It's got to be some form of weights, magnets, physics. I don't know, dude, but it was just the coolest thing in the world. Like, just watching it, I was just having to sit there. Like, I think I've seen the video of it now like 3 times, and I'm just blown away, All right, that's my love affair with BB-8. Number 7.
Number 7.
Back to the LCG.
Yeah. We'll come back to the LCG, I suppose. Enough drooling over the spoiler.
Should Navy players?
Whoa, buddy! You've got evens. I've got odds.
Hey, man, I'm just a talkative kind of guy.
It's okay. I'll let it slide this time. All right. So should Navy players focus on Titers or Star Destroyers? Which is better suited for the meta?
It's got to be Titers, just because it's the best name.
Titers.
I don't really know. I'm not actually a big fan of the Navy TIE Fighter sets. I think DS613 is a freaking amazing card, but I absolutely do not enjoy the set that he is in.
Really?
Were you going to intervene there?
No. That was just my astonished. Really, that you don't enjoy that set?
I don't like sets with 2 quality security teams in them. That's just that's my issue.
I love quality security teams. I like Ugnaughts. I like Prophets of the Dark Lord or whatever they're called. Advisors of the Sith. I like all those cards. Sorry, I digress.
I get that those Black Squadron fighters are needed. I just don't I just don't like having bad cards in my deck, and I view those 2-drops as pretty bad cards. So I just think Navy has better sets at their disposal than that one. And I do like the 181st a lot. Their text is really, really, really good. But as far as the question, Tiders versus Star Destroyers, in a brown meta, I'm pretty sure Star Destroyers are better.
Just because they got a bigger rear end,
Yeah.
more health. Yeah. I mean,
So Utini says, just real quick, Utini says the point of the set is a heavy black squadron, is to focus on heavy black squadron, which can make those ties cost 1, which is good. I just disagree. In our playtesting, it just doesn't matter if bad cards cost less. That doesn't turn bad cards into good cards. And I know, TG, I know you disagree with that too because you like the Black Blast icon.
Yeah.
But I've lost too many games with them and just gotten way too frustrated with seeing those cards. 181st, oh man, give me Tex and 3 health any day of the week over a 1-drop, quote unquote, bad unit. But just, okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, all I was going to point out is that, the Star Destroyers, they have the set from Echoes,
Yeah.
whose name eludes me right now.
The
They can't.
Death Squadrons?
No, from Echoes.
Oh, from Echoes. Oh, the victory classes.
Yeah, the objective only.
Victory
only
or death?
Yeah, only vehicles can.
Yeah, but it's so easy to turn off, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's got the wild and damaged.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
But was
Like
that your
the-
way of saying you vote for Star Destroyers, or you're voting?
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement that with victory or death, they've got the Devastator and the Death Squadron guys. I mean, they've got a lot of blast. Personally, though, I don't think either one of them are positioned well in the meta, though. Just because
Okay.
I just don't think they're good enough.
Okay.
At least not yet.
All right. I mean, you just broke the hearts of thousands of listeners.
I'm sorry. I am a huge fan of the Guarding the Wing set.
You
But-
have sent me like 3 tighter deck lists. You really have. Like, and I've been working on my own here as well. We've got Darth BS says I almost won with the Navy Force deck the other week after seeing a thread. And Smokey says by the end of the cycle, I think Black Squadron will probably be a thing. I agree. I definitely agree.
I think by the end of the cycle, maybe not a Black Squadron, but a Titers deck, of some form will probably be viable. I think it'll be good enough because the 181st are good for the Force, and it might not be just Titers. It might be TIE Fighters and maybe a Star Destroyer set or something. But I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be good. It's going to get better.
Yeah. I think it's definitely possible. I mean, it seems more than likely, right? That we're going to get other cards that will fluctuate how that plays.
Yeah.
That was not I hate Titers at all. I mean, my God, I don't think I just can't even count the number of decks I've looked at in regards to ties lately. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not in love with them. I actually prefer where Scum is at a bit more than I prefer where Navy's at right now.
Yeah, I mean they seem they've got a lot of tactics, they've got a lot of guns, and that's something I think TIE Fighters and Star Destroyers are missing, is the ability to to win an edge battle, damage something and lock something down, or destroy something and lock something down.
Right.
Being able to affect the board that in that way is something that they need to be able to do.
For sure. I have to imagine we'll get there at some point. I get focusing on pilots and having some fun with that and stuff. I'm looking forward to all the other stuff that could be out there. That's my way of saying I'm looking forward to the end of Rogue Squadron.
Yeah. Next topic.
Right. Yeah, but one second. I'm going to be a bit more intelligent this time.
A bit more intelligent.
Yes, I have the Excel doc here in front of me of what we know about the next topic.
Oh, yeah, I probably should have brought that up too.
Oh, real quick, Josh Johnson says that Navy characters with Tuskens and Destroyers are working well for us. I like that. That's awesome.
I like me some Tuskens.
Right? All right. Next question. Number 8. Am I allowed to start the question? I don't want to be like, if you've got your ruler out again to smack my wrist, I just want to know in advance. Can I start topic 8?
Yeah, that's all you.
Okay. All right. We're going to discuss spoilers that we know so far for Evasive Maneuvers, which is the 3rd pack in the Rogue Squadron cycle. Specifically, their product page mentions a Jedi Vimada Boda.
Don't even know who that is.
I'm Wikipediaing it right now. And it also mentions the Independence, which I think isn't there an image of that?
You can see the Independence. I mean, the Independence looks to be a fantastic unit.
I'm clicking this link.
The Independence costs 4, has 2 Force icons,
It does, yes.
a black blaster, a black blast, 2 white blasts. It's a capital ship, a vehicle. It gives 1 resource, has shielding, 3 health, and then some fantastic text that says reduce the cost to play each other friendly capital ship unit by 1. So home 1 costs 4.
Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that it has 3 blasts, potentially 3 blasts, is pretty amazing, and it's got shielding. So you win an edge battle. I mean, granted, if you win an edge battle, you're attacking first anyway. But with the shielding, it allows you some flexibility to maybe attack with another unit that could die in the engagement.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if they've got the Emperor, you're probably swinging with this guy first.
So fun story. In the Decipher game, the CCG, there was no deck limits or restrictions. You could put any number of cards in your deck that you wanted to. And in this thing called Second Anthology, they gave us a preview of some cards that were going to come out in future sets. And one of the preview cards was the Mon Calamari Star Cruiser thing, which the Independence is like a named version of, you know?
Uh-huh.
And it was non-unique. You could put as many as you wanted in your deck. And I think that second anthology cost like $30. And you got like a bunch of crappy packs in it, you know, but then you got those future sight cards, basically. So I bought like 9 or 10 or 13 of those things just so I could put all these Mon Calamaris in a deck. Like, I just wanted a deck of Mon Calamaris. So, like, I'm actually really excited about the Independence. Like, I like that we're getting these out into our hands. Like, I'm just a big fan of these big ships.
I mean, isn't home 1 the same ship?
Yeah, but this is kind of like rounding out the named ones.
Okay.
So I'm excited.
I'm just pretty excited for the unit because it seems like a legit unit.
You're such a jerk.
What?
Who cares about your story, Matt? Let's just talk about the card.
Well, that's what the topic's about. This isn't a CCG podcast, although it is called Star Wars: The Card Game, or is it trade? No, it's the card game, not collectible card game. So I guess this is a TCG.
I'm trying to figure out this Vima. She's from. I think it's a she. It looks like a witch in the picture here. It looks like the first appearance is Dark Empire 3. Oh, the Battle for Calamari. I'm excited. That's a joke. It looks like it was a novel from 1992.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. She speaks in the third person and refers to herself as Vima. Good to know.
All right.
Good to know.
Yeah, that picture is not flattering.
Right? That is downright scary. Like, I'm going to have nightmares about that image right now.
Looks like she should be in The Walking Dead or something.
So, and then the other thing that we know with this last minute here was that FFG spoiled the Eater of Luck, which includes Danik Jericho.
Yeah, I think we talked about him before.
It's kind of interesting, like this pack, which is kind of interesting because it may come out in time for May's regionals, but it kind of seems like a bit of a step back from what the first 2 packs were. Like, we know it's got Vima that I'm guessing is not a pilot. We've got Independence, which
Is not a fighter.
it's not a fighter, yeah, and I don't think we've had. Well, I guess the pilots can go on anything.
Some-
And then according to this sheet, it says that we're going to have a Sith set and a Navy set.
yeah,
So
because
maybe those will be the.
we see the Citadel Inquisitorius, which is a Sith enhancement
What
of
is it?
some kind. Cost 3. But that's all you see.
Oh yeah. Well, it's got 2 Force icons, yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, like just looking at that picture, it seems like it's very unlikely that has much to do with piloting. But then
I'm
you've got
pretty sure the Academy pilot has something to do with piloting.
yeah, and he's got that Navy symbol right there on his head, doesn't he? So it's likely that that's a Navy set.
Yeah.
Um,
Hidden in the shadows. Some kind of Jedi enhancement.
well, it says cannot be targeted by events. Seems all right. I don't know. Like it just seems like it's a bit of a step back. So, Danik looks interesting. It'll be.
He does.
It'll be interesting to see if that's a tier 1 scum set or if that's just another support set for him.
He's the one that doesn't care about edge battles, right?
Yeah. Kind of cool.
Yeah, so he turns all your white icons into black regardless. I mean, that seems pretty good. And he's got 3 health too, so it's not like he gets hit and just dies. I mean, unless like Kyle Katarn's there, in which case he just dies.
Number 9.
Number 9. Discuss the merits of survivors as a 1 of or a 2 of.
My first take on the card was that it would just be a 1 of. That was my first takeaway. That it's just kind of supplemental thing. This past week, I've been playing it as a 2 of in certain builds, and I'm loving it as a 2 of. The only thing I don't like in the set, like the only card I don't like seeing, is his little buddy, the little 2-drop.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, if this set would have came out during Echoes, I think people might have liked his buddy just because he would have been a resource.
Yeah, for Jedi.
Which was part of like Jedi's early problems.
For sure.
But like if this set would have came out in the summer of 2013, how bad would Sith Control have been?
Yeah, I mean,
Or not bad, but how much would Darkseid have like just run rampant that summer?
probably not. I mean, like Ron is no joke. Like, definitely a solid unit. But that enhancement, man.
The lightsaber on a steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a card.
What's crazy is if you put it with I'm blanking on the set. What's the set that Old Ben Spirit comes in?
A Message from Beyond.
Yes, thank you. If you put it in there, like the objective can even return it to your hand if it goes away. It's
Yeah.
like, woo. And then you get 2 more enhancements that make your guys live longer. Like, oh geez, it's so good.
Running really low on. Well, I mean, gonna run low on units, which was always the problem with the Message from Beyond.
Yeah.
And Ron's
I mean,
guidance doesn't exactly, help that because it's got 1 good unit and 1 really kind of crummy unit. So,
I like every card in the set except his 2-drop. If the 2-drop was slightly better, I'd be like, oh, 2 of instantly. I like it as a 2 of. I just haven't found like how it is when you're building decks and you're testing it and you're like, it just feels like this could be a little bit better. I just haven't figured out exactly what build to put 2 of him in just yet. But I think that set's impressive.
I want to try it with Last Minute Rescue. That's my
Okay,
that's
yeah,
my
that's right. We talked about that. Yeah.
that's my master plan for it. Just because you've got Last Minute Rescue, which is removing your damage, and then you've got the Survivors, which is just preventing the damage. So in a perfect world, you've got a lot of longevity, with your units.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll be removing damage and preventing damage. And on top of that, if you're playing with Yoda from BTS, you've also still got the lightsaber deflections. So maybe you can run it without the what is that? Secret Yavin 4, the protectors.
Is it so? Josh says he's building the deck with 4 deflects, and I've definitely had that laid out in front of me as well. Because man, it looks sexy when it's laid out like that. The issue I have with it is like there aren't 4 other Jedi sets I necessarily want to just put right in there, but I would love to put some like smuggler sets in there. But then that contradicts BTS Yoda's set a little bit. So I do think that those 4 deflects laid out there are just so sexy with Ron in play as well. But I'm just trying to find just the right build. So if you discover something, definitely let me know.
My concern though with running a deck with that Yoda, Secret Yavin 4, and Ron is that you're running low on good units with blast.
But nothing dies. You can win the game by just annoying your opponent.
I mean, if that's your goal, sure.
Josh says Leia and Ferris. I don't think I could ever put Leia with Ron. I could be wrong there, but like that's just 4 really crappy cards in my deck that I don't think I enjoy at all. Yeah. I like the idea with Ferris though.
At the same time though, he's saying Leia and Ferris, so you got Leia, Ferris.
It's a lot of protection.
It's a lot of protection, but it's also a lot of the secondary units in that deck are not very good. Ferris has those droid guys that are just not very good.
Yeah, but I get what he's doing. I actually like that a lot.
He's setting up an asteroid base.
Oh, he's setting up annoyance. Like, holy crap! Like that would definitely be annoying. Man, yeah, Josh, that's interesting. We should octagon that. That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought Ferris. I like where that went. I think that's our way of saying Ron times 2 is definitely not a bad thing at all. Just gotta find the right home, right?
Yeah. So topic. Do we have a topic 10?
Well, we technically did, but then you just said your idea is horrible.
Well, the topic that we were
going to be difficult to talk about.
Yeah, I mean the topic hasn't even happened yet.
We just saw the rumors that the Cantina disband live on the stream. Everybody, Lethal is officially dead to Nooners. Lethal has decided to skip out on the FFG panel, which coincidentally was our topic number 10. I had recommended discussing what news came out of the FFG panel, if any, but you said no, that's stupid.
Because it hasn't happened yet.
What technicalities?
How can we talk about news that hasn't happened yet?
Yeah, I thought we had a backup plan, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't see a backup plan.
We had no backup plan. We failed miserably in preparing with a backup plan.
Let's just discuss that. Okay, let's do this. Topic number 10, 5 minutes, starting now. What do we think is going to be discussed in the FFG panel?
They're going to talk about their Star Wars line.
So you think I think you told me you think they're just going to repeat stuff that they said at the last panel.
What was that at Gamma?
No, I don't think it was. I think it was the Adapticon maybe or something. I don't know.
I don't think there was a panel at Adepticon.
Well, at wherever it was, they just had a panel like a month ago.
Where they had officially announced they have the episode 7 rights?
Yeah, that was probably Gamma. That was probably like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Or something. All right, so you think that there's not going to be a big development? Like, they have just announced the expansion for Imperial Assault, and we know that there's some upcoming Armada expansions.
I mean, it would not surprise me if they announced some sort of new product, but I really don't know.
I hope not. I'm my money is drying up. Like it's being spread so thin between all of these products they keep making for Star Wars.
Yeah, see, I am loyal. I only do the LCG.
Yeah, that did not start that way.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, I
But
tried to
I,
get into Armada, but I think Armada is for a different level of gaming enthusiast than I.
why do you say that?
Oh my god, dude! Like
I've
it's
not played Armada yet, so I don't know how to play it. I don't know. So
it's not super complicated. It's just pretty involved. Is probably the best way to put it. Which I think is really
expert.
cool. It's just my way of saying that when I go somewhere to play a game, I won't. That's not my. I won't be able to have enough fun doing that for hours.
Did you ever play X-Wing?
No,
Okay, because I was just kind of curious if they're on the same
compare
level.
contrast kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard it's split. I've heard people that play X-wing like Armada more. I've heard the diehard X-wing guys like X-wing more. It's split from what I understand. Um, I'm enjoying Imperial Assault, so I kind of hope that they're going to put up some info about that. I think Imperial Assault's a lot of fun. I just wish I got to play it more. But I don't know, LCG. I would love for them to make some killer sort of announcement at this panel, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Maybe get an announcement of a deluxe,
Man, that would be so cool.
or maybe an announcement of some episode 7 stuff.
Yeah, it would. Man, like I would love a deluxe just on episode 7 stuff. You know, like just like a BTS thing, just like 7 sets for each side. I think and just give me enough to be like, oh, it's so cool. Because man, it would sell so well. You know what I mean? Like if that somehow came out like right around December, oh, it would sell. Like think if that was available for sale at Worlds, oh, they'd sell out in like instance. Like it would. I'd wait in line all night for it. I would be so excited. It looks like they are just starting on that thing, and we only have like a minute and a half left. We can easily cut this short to let our viewers feed over to the FFG live stream.
Yeah, because we're just rambling now anyway.
Well, we're talking about hopes and dreams that are most likely going to be shattered. But
Yeah.
Can somebody put up a link to it in the cast? I don't think I'm going to be able to find it soon enough.
I thought there wasn't a live stream, but Team Covenant was.
Oh, it's just a Twitter stream. Oh,
Yeah,
I
Team
thought they
Covenant,
were live streaming. Okay, all right.
No, Team Covenant is supposed to be live tweeting.
That's a bummer. Yeah, Team Covenant is live. Oh wait, they're live tweeting, not live streaming.
Yeah.
All right, interesting.
So it looks like they posted a picture of Steve Horvath. I believe
Yeah,
that's
they've
his
got
name.
a couple different pictures up there. Are we gonna live stream their live tweet? I mean, this could be epic.
That sounds terrible, to be honest.
What? Blasphemy. Okay, their first image is of The Force Awakens in the background. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it says episode 7 games products coming, but no
Oh.
news today.
Well, what is this panel about?
Like, it's probably just a big waste of time, maybe. I don't
No,
know.
stop it. That is a bummer. I was hoping they would have some massively awesome news, but at least they came right out the gate saying nothing. No, what the droids? These are not the droids you're looking for, right? Like that's good. That's good. Like
How long is the panel supposed to last?
that might have just been it. I don't know.
It couldn't have been like a 5-minute panel.
That was a joke, yeah. But I'm definitely bummed that there's no product to announce today. That would have been so beautiful. New Year's Think's about an hour and a half, so we can go ahead and end the cast here. I'm sure our viewers are like, "What is going on? We already know all this stuff because we've heard it before."
Yeah.
Because anybody listening to this not live is definitely just going to hear old news. All right. Well, we will be back next week, supposedly.
Maybe.
America's back. Haven't been this let down since NFL season. All right. Well, guys, that's going to do it for episode 12. We should be back next week, pending the tech guy being fired. And, man, Team Covenant was like updating rapidly. And then they made that post about no new news or whatever. And like their tweets just died. It's kind of funny. All right. You have anything else you want to add?
No. Nope. I'm good.
All right. We'll talk to you all next week.
Later, guys.